So we're going to go over all of the important bits for why sleep is so important for performance and how to actually sleep well to get your performance. All right. So the importance of it, obviously, like in general, we train very, very hard. We track things, but a lot of the time your sleep sucks. And if your sleep sucks, we're leaving a lot of performance and especially recovery on the table. Okay, like a really good example is if we have shit sleep, reaction time to things is going to be worse, focus and skill work is going to be just a lot worse. Okay, you're going to lose that strength, you're going to lose that little bit of power output, which if you've got a really big important session, that's going to be super important. Slower recovery, more craving for poor food and just poor food decisions in general, and then we just have that slight increase in terms of risk to injury. Okay, really good example, if you've ever had a really shit night's sleep and you just wake up and you just want to plow through shit food, there we go. That's why I get it all the time. I just have that slight more craving for a bit more sugar or a bit more grease when I've slept bad. Okay, so a lot of you obviously know the kind of bog standard numbers we need to hit. So 7 to 9 hours is super important. Athletes that are training a lot more frequently, I would say try and get closer to 8 to 9. You're going to see a big difference if you can get 8 to 9. But one of the things we're going to go over later is actually quality over quantity. But bear with me, we're not going to cover that yet. So a couple of signs that you could be that little bit under recovered, even if you slept well, is always needing caffeine, okay? Not having that motivation to train, having DOMs that last that little bit longer, and midday crashes. Now, these can be thousands of reasons why, but a lot of them revolve around sleep. And if we're not sleeping well, these are the things that pop up. Just sleep more as well, never works. A lot of you guys will be working shifts, you'll have kids, your brain isn't just going to be able to switch off. So the goal for you guys isn't a perfect routine or sleep. It's just putting better systems in place so you can kind of get as close to perfect as possible. You don't need a perfect routine, but if you can implement 1 to 2 really good habits, it will make a huge difference. So here's some wins I tell some of my clients to focus on. So when they're with their sleep, so even if you can get 10 to 30 minutes longer per night, will be a huge impact over time. Think about if you're getting 30 minutes of sleep extra, or even 10 across that week, that's an hour. If you get 10 minutes every single day of extra sleep per night, that's an extra over an hour in total. That can make a big difference. And you think if that's 30 minutes per night, even bigger, okay? And then you have a better wind down routine. So if you feel like you're getting off to sleep faster, we can take that as a really good win. Now, quality over quantity. You've heard the thing of just get 8 hours, right? We all know that, we're taught that at school. But not all the sleep you have is equal. So you could sleep 8 to 9 hours and still wake up feeling like shit. It happens all the time. Now this can be for a few reasons. It's not always about necessarily how long you sleep, it's more about the quality of that sleep. So the goal for us is to spend more time in deep sleep and REM sleep. This is where we're actually getting all of the benefits we should be getting from sleep. Now, I know you're probably asking, what the fuck is deep and REM sleep? I'm going to go over. So these are just sleep stages, and REM sleep is short for rapid eye movement. Okay, so this is where we're dreaming. So REM sleep is where we're dreaming. We have very vivid visual dreams, and this is where you actually get a lot of benefits from. So in terms of like memorizing things that you've learned through the day, having REM sleep is brilliant for that. Resetting your CNS, so just your central nervous system. So if you have that really heavy day of training, and this can help reset your nervous system that little bit. So it's really helpful. Deep sleep is where we get that little bit more physical repair. So in terms of recovery of our actual muscles, where we're getting some good hormone releases, stuff like testosterone, all of those bits and bobs. That's where it happens. So deep sleep is where we're literally conked out, dribbling on the pillow. A light noise isn't going to wake us up. Now, it is very hard to actually improve the quality of your sleep. Sleeping in for longer isn't people's issue, but learning how to improve the quality of your sleep is actually really, really, really hard. So, obviously, I'm going to tell you how to do that. So, limiting your caffeine in the afternoon is going to be super important. Now, I'm not saying you have to be perfect with this, but it is going to be super helpful. If you do not limit your caffeine in the afternoon, it will block the opportunity of getting better deep sleep or more deep sleep. So limit it to around 2 hours. Everyone is at a different point. So the way people individually tolerate and consume caffeine, their body takes it in, is very, very different. In general, it may take 12 hours to completely get out of your system. Some people, this is a little bit faster, and there are some people that are a little bit slower. So if you take that into consideration, stopping at around midday, it could still be in your system by midnight. Now, I'm not saying you can't have caffeine past midday. My cut-off time is about 2 o'clock, and I've noticed I can actually sleep pretty well, get some good deep sleep, while still having that period of time being the cut-off at 2 p.m. So, trial and error with this, but I'd say latest you guys are going to want to be doing this is around 2 p.m. Okay, this is what I tell the people I coach. The other thing is going to bed and waking up at consistent times. Now, this is a really, really important thing to do, and you need to keep this up over the weekends. If you wake up at the same time on the weekends as you do in the week, waking up in the week will not feel as hard. And this consistency will lead to better quality sleep because your body will just start naturally waking up at that time. It will understand this is now my wake up, getting to bed time, which is brilliant because it means we can fall off to sleep faster and we can wake up not feeling groggy. Create a low stimulus wind down routine. Okay, so what I mean by that is create a little routine. Doesn't have to be excessive. I don't want to see someone doing some 3-hour routine. Just find something, half an hour, that allows you to wind down. Probably means you're not on your phone, you're not talking loads, you're not up and moving loads, just something really simple. For me, there's obvious ones in there. Just go and brush your teeth, okay? Sit and chill, watch the telly for 10 minutes, and then it's read, okay? That's what I wind down. Is the telly maybe limiting? Possibly. But also, I like that part of my day, and it does help me wind down. Could it be optimized 1% more? Yes. But I don't care because it's something that I enjoy, and enjoyment's also important. But something like that, anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, can be really, really helpful. Other things you can do as well is block out noise and light. So eye masks can be really helpful. Me, myself, I haven't actually ever used any eye mask stuff, but it can be really, really helpful, and I'm going to get one very, very soon. One thing I do use though is blackout blinds. Okay, sometimes white noise. I get hot when I sleep, so using a fan is almost like my white noise. So using that fan to help you can be super helpful. And on that, temperature is super important in the quality of your sleep. You want to be on the cooler side rather than the hotter side. You will be able to sleep so much better when you're slightly cooler and sleeping in a slightly cooler temperature. So try and have that fan. That fan can kill 2 birds with 1 stone: white noise and temperature. The final thing I've used that I've found has helped improve the quality of my sleep is mouth tape and nose tape. Mouth tape just stops me breathing out of my mouth when I sleep. This means in general I don't snore as much, and it also means I'm using my nose. There is a whole nother YouTube video I could go on in terms of like nose breathing, mouth breathing when you sleep and how it can really, really help. But I'm not saying there's thousands and thousands of studies behind this. What I am saying is I've tried this and I sleep a lot better when I use some mouth and nose tape. One caveat is that when you first do this, it's uncomfortable and probably would do the opposite. But after a while, it does do great. So, improving the quality of your sleep. Limit caffeine. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times. Have a really short wind down routine, 30 to 60 minutes. Make sure you block out light, whether that's blinds or an eye mask. Have some white noise and make sure the temperature's good. possibly use some mouth and nose tape as well if you fancy. Perfect. I hope that video helped.